Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to today's live, whether you're checking in on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, or wherever you're checking in from, but welcome today. Because I want to ask you this question, because this is the reason why you're probably here, is you're probably thinking, how can I develop a growth mindset to overcome challenges and embrace more growth? It's a question a lot of people ask me all the time, and it's usually those types of people that are struggling. And you're probably thinking, struggling with what? And it's usually things that make them uncomfortable. But the real problem is a lot of people, let me just share with you a little bit about being uncomfortable. When people are uncomfortable, actually I probably won't give you the answer. Let me know, how does it make you feel? What emotion do you feel within your mind when you are in an uncomfortable position? What do you feel? Yeah, it's going to be things like fear, anxiety, nervousness, those different things, right? And this is why it's about finding out, okay, if I've got all those things and I'm uncomfortable, what do I need to do to grow through those things? Because remember, you cannot be stuck in fear and grow. Because remember, everything in life operates in what we call dualities. Dualities is left hand, right hand, up, down, light, dark, happy, sad, right? Fear, and the other one is courage. So this is the thing when I see a lot of people, I ask them, look, if you are in fear, you can either choose to live in fear. And if you choose to live in fear, by the way, and get stuck there, you tell me what are the consequences. What happens when you're in fear? Yeah, that's right. Nothing. You get stuck in it and it kind of starts to take over your life. It controls you rather than you controlling it. And this is why knowing exactly what the emotion is critical to finding out, what's happening. Because as soon as you acknowledge what's happening, then you know what the next stages are. But let me just go a little bit deeper into when people are really struggling in getting a growth mindset. Because one of the things is that they're probably actually surrounded by the wrong people. And what I mean by surrounded by the wrong people is this famous saying that the 7 most closest people to you will actually become. So let me just ask you a simple question. If you are surrounded by negative people, what do you think you'll become? Negative. If you were surrounded by complainers, guess what you'll become? A complainer. If you were surrounded by gossipers, what would you become? A gossiper, right? And this is why you need to be very careful with who you are surrounded with, because you either will become someone that you don't want to be, or you have the choice of becoming the person that you want to be. But that's your choice. But you need to make that distinct decision. Because remember, if you don't have a growth mindset, what mindset do you have? What's the opposite of growing? It's dying. You have a dying mindset. The mindset that will ultimately just create destruction in your own life. And all the people that I meet, generally people don't want to be destroyed. They want to grow. But although they want to grow, they don't actually put in the actions or the work to grow. So this is where I want to challenge you and ask you, if you truly want a growth mindset, it comes from your results. And your results is basically the things that you achieved. Because if you have good results and you've improved over time, yes, it means you're growing. But if your results are getting worse over time, you're just dying. But most importantly, the chances are you have not learned from your mistakes. I hope that makes sense. If that makes sense, I'll just put MS into the chat, because it making sense means that you now know what you need to do. Because you have a choice. You're going to choose to grow, or you're going to choose to die. But that's up to you. But by the way, yes, wherever you're checking in from, if you're checking in live, put live into the chat. If you're watching a replay, put a replay in the chat. But I just want to say I'm in a slightly different environment here. I'm here in Penang in Malaysia at the Millionaire Mind Intensive as one of the assistant trainers here. And I'm having a great time helping lots of people becoming financially free and generating lots of passive income. But ultimately, everyone can do it. This is what I find so funny about these events. Everyone in a room hears the same message. But there are some people that get incredible results, but there are some that nothing changes. And the question is why? It's because they never applied their own mind. They never actually got out of their own way. And this is the consequence. The question I ask you, if you're stuck in your own way, I want to ask you, how much longer are you going to be that way? How much longer are you going to allow it to happen? How much longer are you going to allow it to take control of your life? But that's your choice. You need to choose if it's now is the time for you to stop. If now is the time for you to say, actually, no, I'm done with anxiety. I'm done with fear. I'm done with what people think about me. I'm done with, feeling not good enough. If you're done with it, put done in the chat. Because now you have the opportunity to grow. Because you cannot grow without being done with all the negative things. And I'll give you an example here. When I was at school, I got so much racial abuse that I said nothing for 4 years, between the ages of 14 and 18, because I cared what people thought of me. Then I started to believe that I would never fit in. I would never actually be good enough for anyone. But then I realized the only person that's going to suffer is me. And I was dying then. My mind was dying. My body was dying. I was depressed. I was grumpy. I felt that my life wasn't worthwhile. But the time that I really understood this was this. Everything in your life, something needs to die in order for something to grow. I'm going to repeat that. Something in you has to die in order for something in you to grow. So what I knew I had to die was this. Other people's opinions. That had to die, because if it didn't and it started to grow, what would die would be the opinion of myself. So that's the choice I made. I made sure that the opinion of others started to die, and the opinion of myself started to grow. They both cannot die together. They both cannot grow together either. One of them has to die, one of them has to grow. But it was my choice, but ultimately it's your choice too. You get to choose what you want to achieve, what you want to grow, and what you want to die. So I'm going to give you the tips now. This is just my journey, my experience, in terms of what I had to go through in order to make sure I was growing every single day. Because some people, they kind of think, I want to grow faster. But ultimately, if you're growing every single day, that's good, because you're going in the right direction. Some people are not only not moving, but also going in the wrong direction. That's dying, right? So this is number one. If you want to develop a growth mindset, like I said, you are the sum of the 7 people you surround yourself with. So make sure you surround yourself with people that have what you want, right? For example, make sure that you are surrounded by positive people, people that actually want to be a success at something, people that have a certain interest. Don't be surrounded by people that are just going to destroy you, or they're going to destroy the world or destroy themselves, because you contribute to it because you'll be in that environment. So make sure you're in a like-minded environment where you support other people that have the same interest as you. So here at the Millionaire Mind Intensive right now, we have future millionaires. Yeah, that's a good group. Future millionaires, do you think future millionaires are going to support each other? Absolutely, because they all want the same goal. They all want to go to the same direction. There's no one in this room that says, I want to be broke for the rest of my life, because they're at the wrong event. They should be going to the Go Broke event. Or actually, just don't go to any event, because they'll go broke anyway. Right? It's about getting into the right event with the right people. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, find a coach or a mentor that has your result. Because you must have someone who has your result. Because if you choose someone that doesn't have your result, it's pretty foolish. But it's like, for example, if you wanted to lose weight, you wouldn't get it from someone that's overweight. If you wanted to get rich, you wouldn't get it from someone that's broke. If you want to have an incredible relationship, you wouldn't get it from someone who's been divorced 10 times. You get it from someone who has the result that you want. Because they've obviously gone through the journey and the process and the learnings and the sufferings so that they can now teach you. So make sure you find someone that has your result, and then stay around in their environment so that they can teach you, because what they teach you will speed up your journey to wherever you want to succeed in. The third thing is read. A lot of people don't read enough. They have so much resistance. I'm such a bad reader, Michael. I don't like reading. I don't learn by reading. I'm like, that's okay. Ultimately, reading is just a skill. There are other alternatives. Audiobooks if you wanted to. There are videos if you want to. But you must learn through a certain vehicle. I love reading. So the thing is, the only books I really read are autobiographies. There's this famous saying from Warren Buffett, the most famous investor in the world. He says, do not learn from your own mistakes first. Learn from other people's mistakes, because you do not have the same lifetime to make the same mistake again. Just think about, why would you make someone else's mistake when they've done it for an entire life? It's just wasting your own life. Read it from their book, their autobiography, learn from the mistakes, and then you'll never make their mistake, and then you've already taken a shortcut with minus the suffering. Is that good or good? It's great, right? And this is why it's so important to make sure you read, and you're learning through reading, or audiobooks, or videos, whatever it may be. But it's your choice to either learn or not learn. Okay? And the last thing, the fourth tip I'm going to give you is, you must do what you learn. A lot of people say, why? Why, Michael? Do what I learn. Because do you know when you do what you learn, do you know what type of people you attract? The people that want what you have. And when you start to attract those types of people, then you're surrounded by even a higher standard of people that want to gain what you have. And then you may even find other people that are a lot further ahead of you, then you find them, and then you learn from them too. But these are my tips to make sure you can develop a growth mindset. And ultimately, it comes down to an environment and also a leader. That's it. Environment and leader. You have the best environment for you to grow, because if you're in a toxic environment, you're going to grow. And then you find the best leader you can get, because if you get with that type of leader, you will always find shortcuts. You will then trade money to gain more time in your life, rather than actually lose time and probably lose money as well, because there'll be a lot of suffering in that involved as well. So I really hope that you found this video helpful. Just put into the chat the things that you just learned from this video, and this is the reason why I love doing these lives, because it's just I call it my 2 pence of value and experience, just to help every one of you move forwards. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I really wish you an amazing weekend, and look forward to seeing a lot of you next Friday. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.